babes, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Sharece. I create beauty, lifestyle, and motherhood content. I just started incorporating pregnancy updates on my channel, so if that is the type of content that you are interested in, please do your girl a favor and hit that subscribe button and join the family. So if you've been following along on the series so far, we went through weeks 5 through 7, then we went through weeks 8 through 10, and in today's video we're going to go through weeks 11 through 13. So welcome to the last video of the first trimester, babes. We made it to the end of the first trimester, girl, and there is a lot to talk about. Okay, there is a lot to talk about. I'm gonna be honest, I honestly didn't know if I was gonna make this one or not, because these 3 weeks were the hardest week for me that I've experienced. Now I know I said in the last video that weeks 8 through 10 was pretty rough for your girl, but in all actuality, weeks 11 through 13 by far were the hardest, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and get into it, girl. We're gonna go ahead and get to it. You may catch me looking off because me reliving like what I'm about to say is just a lot. First and foremost, I was very stressed out, okay? I was very stressed out. There's something that I didn't touch on in the previous videos, but I was very stressed out early on during my pregnancy. So let's go ahead and get into week 11, y'all. So week 11 started, I know I said week 8 started the nightmare, but I was only simply saying the nightmare simply because of the spitting, of the symptoms that I was experiencing. So it was like the spitting symptom that became a nightmare, because I still spit to this day, y'all. I still spit to this day. But in actuality, week 11 was the nightmare that I never thought. I've never experienced something like this before. One night as I was cooking dinner, you know, a regular night, I was cooking dinner for, you know, the boys, Marcus. We was just, you know, chilling. I was standing up to the stove, and all of a sudden a gush of blood just came out of me. As I was just standing up to the stove, like a gush of blood like just fell out. And I remember me saying, oh no. I was like, oh no. I ran to the bathroom. I didn't tell anyone what was going on. I ran to the bathroom, and as I pulled down my shorts, all you could see was blood in my underwear, on the floor. It was like a clot. It was the scariest. It was so scary, you guys. It was the scariest feeling that I've ever had. I just knew for sure that I was miscarrying. So I started crying. I started freaking out. I screamed. I was like, I called Marcus. I said, come here. So I told him, I said, I think we're miscarrying. So he looked, he freaked out, he panicked. It was just the most scariest feeling ever. If you've had a miscarriage, then I'm sure you know, my condolences, my heart go out to you, girl, because I truly felt in that moment that that was the end of this journey for us. So we rushed to the hospital, and mind you, our hospital is like 25 minutes away from where we live. So we rushed over there. I, you know, checked in, gave them, you know, all my information. So they finally bring me to the back, and it was the scariest thing, just laying there, you know, on the table. And she's trying to find a heartbeat, She can't find it. All she's getting is my heartbeat. Can't find baby's heartbeat at all. And I'm just laying there just praying. I'm praying, you know, begging God to just please, like, don't let this be what I think it is, you know? So I want to say, if I remember correctly, before she actually did or tried to find the heartbeat, I had to go pee in the cup, and all that was in that cup was blood. Like, of course it was the urine, but it was blood. Like, it was bloody, y'all. And if blood freaks you out, if you talking about, I'm so sorry, you may want to skip past this part, but I just want to share with you my experience during this week. So yeah, it was just blood in the cup. I was just like, oh my God. And I remember me looking into the toilet and I seen like a clot in the toilet, and I was just like, this can't be good, this can't be good. But I'm gonna be honest, the only thing that gave me hope, cause I was paying attention to my body, the only thing that gave me hope that I may not be miscarrying is I did not cramp. Okay, I was not cramping. It was just, I was just bleeding, and I didn't know at the time where the bleeding was coming from, what was going on. So as I used the bathroom and, you know, I wiped myself, I seen blood, I seen it in the toilet, I went back out, you know, in the room, gave them, well, I put the cup in the bathroom, you know, you had to put the cup in the little door. So yeah, I went back in the room, laid on the bed, and I think that's when she came over and tried to, you know, get the heartbeat. She could not find the heartbeat, y'all. Only thing she was pulling is my heartbeat. So she did, I think she put the little, you know, the little Doppler thing, and she did it on my lower belly, and it's like she heard it, but it went away quickly. So I remember her telling me, you're not out the woods yet. And when she told me that, y'all, my heart dropped. She was like, you're not out the woods yet. And she didn't mean it to be like malicious or, you know, mean or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But she just wanted to be honest with me, and I appreciate her for being honest with me, because I'm not the type of person that get my hopes up. So I would hate for her to have got my hopes up only for me later to, you know, miscarry. So I appreciate her for just saying, like, you know, Miss Clark, you're not out the woods yet. So as we did, you know, as she was trying to get the heartbeat, they sent us back out in the waiting room. So we was waiting, y'all. It felt like an hour. It wasn't an hour, but it felt like an hour. If you ever had to wait for any type of results that was like you was anxious to get, you know what that wait feels like. So it probably was like 15 minutes, but it felt like an hour, y'all. It felt like an hour. So anyway, about 15 minutes, they call us back in the ultrasound room. Now, the type of ultrasound they did, y'all, I've never had this type of ultrasound during any of my pregnancies, y'all. This was a transvaginal ultrasound. So she had to, instead of doing on my belly, you know, putting the gel on my belly, she had to go up my vagina, okay, with the little thing, with the camera on it. And y'all, it felt like, mind you, it was so quiet in the room. The lady that was doing the ultrasound on me, she was quiet. She wasn't saying anything. I'm quiet. I'm just looking up at the ceiling like this as she's doing it. And y'all, it literally took her like, I don't want to exaggerate the time, but it took her a long time. She was trying to get all these pictures. Mind you, she couldn't show me anything. She couldn't tell me anything. She couldn't say anything. And I later found that out after she did it, because I'm just like, you was quiet the whole time. She was like, yes, man, you know, I'm not supposed to say anything. But girl, it just felt like forever. It just felt like the end, right? So after she, you know, did her, after she got her pictures and seeing what she wanted to see, she did turn the computer around, the screen around, and show me my baby. She said, you know, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm showing you. I want you. So girl, she showed me the baby on the screen, and my heart just was just full of joy. I just wanted to just burst out in tears, because I was just so scared that, you know, the worst was happening. So she showed me, mind you, I didn't get to hear a heartbeat. Did I hear a heartbeat? I think she did. Let me back up. I think she did. As she showed me the baby, she did let me hear like a heartbeat. So she did do that. But I was just grateful for her for doing that, for sure, because it put me at ease. So I remember me asking her, I'm like, girl, you scared me. I'm thinking you ain't saying anything because you didn't say nothing the whole entire time. She was like, yeah, you know, because they're not supposed to really. So she really did me a favor by show them that little snippet. And of course I'm not gonna say nobody's name because I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but yeah, she did do that for me, cause she seen the concern on my face and everything. So after the ultrasound, the transvaginal ultrasound was done, they put us back in the waiting room. No, actually they took us to an actual room. It took us to an actual room and we had to wait to see the doctor. So, and mind you, it wasn't my doctor, just the hospital, you know, the hospital doctor. But he came in and he told me, he was asking me what happened. So I was explaining to him like the situation, what happened. And he was like, well, Miss Clark, everything is normal. Everything looked normal. The only thing that happened, that we seen was that you hemorrhaged. Girl, he said that I hemorrhaged on my placenta. So by that happening, y'all, I lost so much blood and it just caused the blood to just trickle down, and not even just trickle, because that's just a little bit, but it flushed. It was a gush of blood. Like I would never forget it. I remember me laying in the hospital bed and me just quiet. Me and Marcus both just quiet, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what news we were going to hear. But girl, God, that's all I can say, but God. But God. And I just remember me being distraught. I just remember me being so upset. But let's bring it back. Before I even started bleeding, I remember me having heartburn that night, and I took 2 Tums. Mind you, at this point I do know what I can take because I have the list of medications that I can take. So I do remember me looking on the paper, what can I take for heartburn, and it said, you know, Tums. So I know I had Tums in my cabinet. On the label it says you are okay or safe to take 2. So I took 2. It wasn't even a good 30 minutes after that, that's when I bled. So I was just blaming myself, y'all. I was blaming myself, like, oh my gosh, Kelly, you took 2 of them. You should have just took 1. What if this is a result of you taking, you know, these 2 Tums? I was just going, like, I was in my head bad, girl. I was in my head bad. So that was week 11, dealing with that whole ordeal. So the doctor did tell me that night that I probably, you know, would bleed, you know, in the days to come, in the days ahead. And mind you, at that point, week 11, I think I had another appointment coming up in like maybe that next week, or maybe like 2 weeks out. So the doctor did tell me to like call my regular doctor and trying to like see if I can come in sooner. So when I did that, when I explained to them what was going on, they said they didn't have no concerns for me to like come in sooner. They was like, you know, this is pretty normal that happens, but it's not normal to me. Like, that's not normal to me. Blood, any type of blood during your pregnancy is not, like, to me, it's not normal. And especially as much blood as it was, I thought that we were miscarrying. I really did. I truly did. But like I said, but God, he did not allow that to happen. So that was week 11. That was week 11. Week 12, really no new symptoms, just the bleeding. I'm still bleeding. At this point, I won't say I'm soaking up a pad, but a panty liner for sure. Like, I remember me having to I did, you know, wear a pad, but I wasn't soaking up a pad like a regular period. But when I was put on a panty liner, I would soak up the panty liner. So it was not enough blood to soak up a pad, but just enough to soak up a panty liner, if that makes sense. So yeah, but it was just a lot. Of course, the doctor said no sex, girl, no sex. Don't have no type of sex, which was, you know, I wasn't even tripping about that, because no, girl, I was not even trying to go, I was not even trying to have no type of nothing with this bleeding going on. I wanted to make sure, you know, the bleeding stopped, which it didn't, girl. So like I said, week 12, the bleeding continued. I was highly stressed out. anxiety on 1,000. I remember just me, you know, just laying in my bed thinking of the what ifs. I remember me being like extra careful during these weeks, like these last few weeks of the first trimester. I remember me being extra careful, just really like just paying attention and listening to my body, listening to like, what is my body telling me? Do it need rest? And I remember like me saying, girl, get your rest. Like, I don't care if you are in this bed from sun up to sundown, get your rest. My mom, she had to, you know, step in for when Marcus was at work to help me out with Jameson, because, you know, the boys was at school, so, you know, I didn't have to worry about them as much until they got out of school. But yeah, she stepped in, she helped me with him. It was just a lot, girl. It was just a lot. And same thing with week 13. Not really, I don't remember experiencing anything new. Like, the symptoms that I was having was symptoms that I had already experienced. So any new symptoms I didn't experience in week 12 and 13. The only new symptoms that I experienced were in week 11, and that's with the bleeding, something that I've never experienced before. So girl, it was just pretty intense. Everything was pretty intense. I remember me going to the bathroom and me just feeling like something is going to just come out, you know. I was scared. Like, I was so scared. I've never been so scared during my pregnancy ever than what I was this time around. So that was a lot. That was a lot for me to say, because I battled with that. Like, should I tell them about that? Because I know some people don't like to hear about, you know, miscarriages. It's a trigger for them, or they don't like to hear about, you know, blood or anything like that. But this is my experience, and I promise to keep it real with y'all. I promise to take y'all and bring y'all on this journey with me. So I had to, you know, just kind of like briefly share what I went through during those last couple of weeks of the first trimester. I do also remember me having like this milky color discharge during week 12 and 13, but like I said, it wasn't anything new because I did experience discharge early on. I may not have talked about it, but yeah, I did experience discharge early on. So it wasn't a new symptom, but I do remember me having discharge, you know, weeks 12, 13, 11. It was like a milky color, mild in odor. It really wasn't like a foul odor, but it was just discharge. It was like when I would go to the bathroom, I would see it in my panties. I'm just like, oh my God, like, can this discharge go away? But it's normal. It's completely normal during your pregnancy. Every woman that I know that's been pregnant has some type of discharge. It's something that comes with the territory. It's just something that comes with the territory. I will say, like, if it turns like a foul odor smell, or, you know, maybe like yellow or something like that, brown, you may want to contact your doctor. I don't know what that may be, but mine was kind of like a milky color. It wasn't like, you know, nothing dark or anything like that. It was like a milky color, but again, it was also mixed in with the bleeding, but the bleeding, it wasn't as severe as it was the night that we went to the hospital. It did like ease up, but it was still blood there. And I just remember me asking God, like, please, Jesus, just let this blood like stop. And eventually it did, but not right away. So we'll get into that when we get into our second trimester recap in the weeks to come. But I just wanted to, you know, share with y'all what happened during week 11. If you experience bleeding at any time in your pregnancy, girl, just contact your doctor or go to the hospital. Don't wait, because you don't know what could be happening. Thank God for me, it was something that was minor to the doctors. Might I add, not minor to me, but to the doctors, it was minor. So maybe they're used to women, you know, hemorrhaging, because I've never hemorrhaged before on my placenta, but maybe they're used to like women hemorrhaging or bleeding during pregnancy. So, but to me, girl, that wasn't anything normal at all. I'm just like, Lord have mercy, what is going on? So like I said, no new symptoms really occurred during these weeks. I was still very nauseous. I did find myself, you know, throwing up still. Still can barely like stand the smells of food. Water was my best friend, still is my best friend. But I just know my stress levels were through the roof. My anxiety was through the roof. And I really didn't think that I was going to be able to carry, you know, be able to continue with the pregnancy. I just knew that night was it, because I've never seen anything like it before. Like I said, the only thing that kept me level-headed and calm was the fact that I was not cramping. And I know that was, I remember that being the #1 question they was asking me, like, are you cramping and are you clotting? And I said, I only seen 1 clot when I was home, but I have not been cramping. So that's the only thing that kept me level-headed, that kept me calm. But yeah, that's basically all the symptoms that I experienced from week 5 through 13, girl. Like I said, if you have been keeping up, I did the first 5 through 7 recap, and then I did weeks 8 through 10, and in today's video was weeks 11 through 13. I will make sure that I link both of those videos down in the description box so that you can check them out if you have not already, girl. Thank you so much for being patient with me throughout this process, because I did go on a little hiatus, girl. I did go on a little hiatus, and so now you know why your girl just wasn't in the right mental space to pick up this camera to vlog anything. I had to get me together. I had to get Kelly together. I had to make sure I was good before, you know, I could pour into y'all or anybody else. I had to make sure Kelly was good, was taken care of, and was feeling good. So girl, yes, God is awesome. That's all I can say. God is awesome, girl. So if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, meet me in the comments, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, okay? Because we are coming back to back with these types of videos. I am excited, girl. I am excited. We are going to get into the 2nd trimester videos next week, okay? So like I said, turn that post notification on so you will not miss when I update you guys when I upload, okay? I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, babes.